All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting the good fight of faith and truth, and sincerity and wholeheartedly, Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believers, Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. All right, so that's what the title of this video is going to be. And yeah, I always think about that because, life still goes on. You still able, even though you shouldn't overly do it, but, you're still able to have fun. You're still able to do things, and I always quote this. That's why the scripture said, watch and pray that you fall not into temptation. All right. Because the flesh is weak, but the spirit is indeed willing. All right. So you're supposed to understand that since this is temporary, we don't get a word in this. So it said, and they that use this world not as abusing it for the fashion of this world passeth away. Might want to get a couple. So we're going to get passeth away. So it says, to lead near, reflexive, intransitively, to go along or away, depart away. All right, pass by, lead past, lead by. Okay. Metaphor, disappear. And that's true. This world is going to disappear. That's why the scripture said a new heaven and a new earth, which is talking about a new rulership. Okay. Because the earth is going to be refreshed. And the refreshment is going to be righteousness. The whole earth is not going to be destroyed. Ecclesiastes 1:4 said that the earth abideth forever, and a generation coming and generation cometh. Goeth and cometh. All right. That is symbolized of life still goes on. Did the world end when the Egyptians fell? The Assyrian Babylonians, the Medes and Persians, the Romans and Greeks. I said the Romans and Greeks, the Greeks and Romans. All right. No, life still went on. But it was a new rulership. The difference between the rulership that's coming is going to be an everlasting and righteous. And it's going to be on a higher level, a level that you can't even comprehend. Like it's going to be what the Lord always intended it to be. But the Lord is a balanced power. So these things had to happen. So this place is going to disappear, man. Now let's look up this word abusing. So it says overuse, misuse, abuse, too much or excessively or ill, to use up, consumed by use, to use fully. All right. Because the people of the world, they overuse this world. They indulge in everything that they possibly can. They have a saying called you only live once. But the scripture says that we all must come to the judgment seat. So you don't get away with anything. So I want to see what the root word says. Down, okay. I just want to see, because it's two words.
Strong's G 5530. Chra'amai. Chra'amai.
I can't say it. But yeah. One in given manner and treat, to act towards one. Okay. So yeah, so there's two words that go together. But yeah, I just wanted to see. So yeah, it's overuse, indulging. And if you understand the prophecies, as the scripture says, let's get it. Like, this is very important because, right? I'm going to read it first. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. All right. So if these things is going to be dissolved, why would you be overusing the world? Why would you be abusing this world? Okay? They that use this world not as abusing it. That's the spirit you're supposed to be in. And if you're overdoing it, like the title of this video, lest come and suddenly he find you sleeping. Because you're not in the right spirit. The scripture said, look up for your redemption draweth nigh. The scriptures also said, your salvation is nearer than what you believe. So you're supposed to, have your conversation in heaven, which is your citizenship, that's where you want to dwell. So you're going to do the things to be in it. You don't want to perish with this world. So it says, seeing then that all the things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Let's look up this word conversation and godliness. Anastrophe. Behavior. Okay? Manner of life, conduct, behavior, deportment. What does this word mean? A person's behavior and manners. Okay. Another fancy word for behavior. Deportment. So yeah, knowing that these things going to come to pass, you're not going to be overindulging yourself. You're going to do, as the scripture says, you got to be balanced. I always quote it. We're going to read it today. It said, be not over righteous. So yes, you can have a laugh sometimes. You can take your woman out sometimes. All right. You and a brother can go, get a drink, but I don't recommend it. Okay, because y'all could drink at the house. So actually scratch that. I don't recommend it at all. Have a drink at the house. So that's what I meant to say. You and a brother could drink. You know what I'm saying? Talk about some worldly things, which you already know is going to lead back to the scriptures, because that's just who we are. But it said, be not over righteous, neither make yourself over wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Be not over much wicked. See, the Lord is all about balance. So when the scripture said that use this world not as abusing it, that's being balanced with it. Doing what you got to do, of course. And yeah, you have fun sometimes. It's okay. But it shouldn't be all the time. Neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest you die before your time? Okay? Because one thing that the Lord get tired too. Like, you know what? Take this chick off the earth, man. You know what? Take this ninja off the earth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you'd be over wicked. You're gonna die before your time. But yeah, so what is that? I think it's it got to be 34. But I'm thinking of 44. But I think it's Yep. So it says, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled, which is a stumbling block to those who don't have understanding. Because like I always say, since life continue on, you think that you got all the time in the world. But no, prophecy is happening every day. All right. Unrighteous decrees being signed into law every day. They don't highlight everything that they sign into law, man. And everything that they're signing into law is to take away your rights. The mirth of the earth is about to be gone. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. I never look up this word. Let me see what they say for pass away.
Strong's G 3928. Parechamai.
Perish, neglect, come, go pass, to go pass by, act of continuing for a time, pass away, perish, to come near, for it arrive. Just trying to see something. But yeah, so when it talks about heaven and earth passing away, like I quoted earlier, let's talk about a new heaven and new earth. Matter of fact, if we were to continue to read down in 2 Peter 3, this is what you gotta do this now, because like I said, new people be watching. We know this stuff. Looking for and hastening unto the coming day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven, a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's the new rulership. That's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's kingdom. That's the new heaven and the new earth that's coming to the earth. Not the world gonna pass away, everything gonna blow up like Christianity used to teach, but now they on the level because of the Hebrew Israelites. They don't really speak like that no more. Okay, but yes, still enough of them believe that the end of the world. So now, and it says, but the day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So yes, if you are not in the right spirit when the Lord returns, you're going to be destroyed. So I don't want to be found sleeping. I want to be, in the right spirit. I'm gonna end it on this. I just wanted to get that off my chest, because you got people who think they got all the time in the world, and you don't, man. You really don't. So it said, watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at evening, or at midnight, or at cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. That is the title of this video. Let's look up this word sleeping. Koth you do. I want to see if that's what it said.
Strong's G 2518. Kathudo. Kathudo.
To lie down, to rest, to fall asleep, literally or figuratively. Now it said to fall asleep, drop off to sleep, sleep. Euphemistically, to be dead, that's spiritually. To yield to sloth and sin. Because remember what the scripture says? Be diligent to make your calling and election sure. So the scripture says in Proverbs 4:18 that the righteous is going to shine more and more into that great perfect day. So we supposed to be turning up, not turning down in the spirit. All right. And you have people, because the scripture says it. So if the scripture is written, that means somebody's going to fulfill it. So instead of being turned up in the spirit, you're going to have people who's going to be turned down when you should be turned up. And also the fallouts, right? So being asleep is you not being diligent and being in a state of sin. And I know a few personally. Okay. Also, those false prophets that's out there still teaching, they think they're in the truth, but they're in a state of sin. So yeah, so it said, to be indifferent to one's salvation. And one thing that they do, they always come up against the doctrine. Okay. So yeah, so for you can be in the truth right now and be out. You could be on fire right now and then the fire get put out, man. So it's very scary. You got to stay prayed up. You got to stay humble. You always got to pray, man. So you don't want to be found sleeping when the Lord come. Because the Lord don't have to say, lest coming suddenly I find you sleeping and I put you to death when I return. That's what the scripture is implying. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. All right. So yeah, this ain't the time to be lackadaisical. This ain't the time to be distracted by unnecessary things. All right. So we want to be found, in the Lord's good standing, and we want to be delivered with him. So all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Oh, I gotta end it on this. Can't believe I forgot this. There's another reason, why people get lackadaisical, because they don't got vision. And we're going to look up that word and then end it. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Going back to not being in a state of sin. Okay? And it's Chazawan, a dream, revelation, or oracle, which means prophecy. We're going to get straight to the point. Number 3, vision, oracle, prophecy, divine communication. Okay? So if you knew prophecy and what manner and man you ought to be in all holy conversation and godliness, knowing that these things going to come to pass. All right? That's the prophecy, man. You don't want to. Do you want to be part of the elements that's gonna melt with fervent heat? So yeah, man, seek ye out the Lord while he may be found, lest he come and he find you sleeping. Shalom.